Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Richard West. Oh, shit, I was supposed to put this hat on. Whatever. I'm a Denver sports fan, obviously. Now, this is not a sports video, obviously, but really, right now, I'm just at a point where I'm tired of videos getting delayed when I'm ready to put them up at a certain time, right after a game ends, or the day after a game ends, and then, you know, the sports company, whoever it is, NBA, NFL, they're like delaying it with the copyright block, or just claiming every video without actually, usually there's just no rhyme or reason to it, and I'm not one of those to complain about copyright, but it's just like, damn, can I just post the video? I can't even do that consistently now, just because it's constantly like in the way. This is a channel that I've been aware of since I was like in middle school, I think. Mr. Nightmare, he's always got really interesting stories. I have not watched it in a while. This was okay, serious topic time. Just very briefly, my little brother did pass away 2 years ago now, and this was a channel that he really loved. We watched it together as probably years ago, and this is not, it's just a weird nostalgia thing where I just kind of want to revisit these, just kind of to branch out with different types of content, and also just kind of revisit that time in my life, re-experience what these great videos brought to me at the time, and also just to experience a little bit of horror. I'm not a horror person at all. My brother really was. That's kind of one of the reasons I only ever watched it with him. I'm such a wuss, but I like to delve into it every once in a while. So we're gonna see, what this is like, and see if I'm into it, see if you guys are into it. If you are, leave a like, comment, whatever, and also, make sure to go watch Mr. Nightmare if you don't, and if you like this type of video. So, let me know if you want more reactions like this to horror content, or just different types of content, because, I would like to mix it up every once in a while from the sports reactions, just every now and then. So yeah, we are watching a video called 3 Scary True Night Shift Horror Stories. I have worked night shift at multiple places. Started working when I was 16, and I can just say day shift is always better everywhere. Consistent schedule during the day, it'll always be better. I don't normally, I've never, I don't think, regularly worked an overnight shift, but I preferred it. There just weren't a lot of places that would let me, so for whatever reason, and that's probably better, because this is usually when I like to record, is between the times of 12 to 7 a.m. usually. I just don't like other people in the house or in the apartment or wherever hearing me while I'm recording, so usually I like to do it when everyone's asleep. So yeah, this is actually, it's 6 a.m. ish, so this is kind of the perfect time where I don't have to go through the rest of the night creeped out, because that's what I do when I watch this shit. I just get so anxious. Like, I hear a home invader story in one of these videos, and I'm gonna be thinking about it every time I walk through my house. But it's also kind of like close, because it's still dark outside. It's, winter, so it's still kind of the vibe. Let's go ahead and get into it. I've yapped enough already. 3 scary, if I'm like looking around here, it's because I'm keeping an eye out for Selena, bro. When I watch this scary shit, dude.
My name is Cadence.
Oh, this is loud.
I work the closing shift at a small dive bar in the quieter part of my town.
Okay,
the place is right off the highway, but the parking lot also has a back entrance that's available to the general town. It's nothing fancy, just a dimly lit spot where the regulars know each other by name, and the jukebox has been playing the same rotation of classic rock for years.
Hell no.
Most of our customers are locals, truckers passing through, and the occasional lost tourist looking for a stiff drink. I like it though. The routine is predictable, the tips are surprisingly decent, and I've learned how to handle the usual bar crowd. The talkers, the flirters, the quiet drinkers, and the ones who just want to be left alone.
That's me.
Weekends are obviously a lot more hectic.
I don't go to bars.
The thing about working during the week is that I'm expected to work my night shifts alone. I don't even get a bar back to pop in now and again. Yeah, it's obviously easier work and slower during the week, but I miss the company of my coworkers. I tend to be pretty vigilant during my shifts, because we do get the occasional bar fight, considering the kinds of crowds we attract. That's why I clocked the guy immediately. It was sometime after 1 in the morning on a Tuesday when he walked in.
Hell no, I don't like some of this already.
I'd say he was in his late 40s, but he was extremely clean cut and well groomed. Not the kind of look you'd expect from a guy his age in an area like this. He was wearing a black turtleneck underneath a black trench coat. Definitely.
Fuck no. Already no. Oh my god. He's saying I love that they threw in whoever sent in this story, because I'm pretty sure that's how they do it. They send in Like the 3 stories, they review them, and then he reads them, I think. That always confused me when I was a kid. I would be playing through all of his videos where all this weird stuff happened. I was like, there's no way this all happened to one guy. I'm pretty sure these are like viewer submission stories. I love how he threw in, you know, I've gotten a good sense for when a fight's about to happen with this crowd, with the people in it. That's why I clocked this guy immediately. Bro, the trench coat alone is a red flag. I mean, it can be. I guess I don't see him a lot in real life, but that's another thing. It's like it stands out already. And then you're gonna wear a turtleneck under that in a bar. I'm sorry, no.
Really well dressed.
You're out of place,
but casual
brother.
about it. I'm not sure how to explain it, but he had this aura of sophistication about him that makes you think of money. Real money. Not the loud look at me kind. He glanced around slowly before walking swiftly over to the bar and taking a seat. I also remember him having oddly good posture, but that's neither here nor there. When I walked over,
I don't know why that phrase bothers me so much. I'm sorry. We'll get back
I
into it.
glanced at the bottles
I'm ruining the
behind me
immersion.
and ordered something top shelf without hesitation. As I was pouring his drink, he asked me if I liked working here with a smile on his face.
Oh God.
It was a normal enough question, so I
Not
answered
really.
him honestly.
To open up with.
I told him yeah and smiled back. I then made a joke about being a bartender or something. I wish I could say I got a creepy vibe from him, but that's not the energy he was giving off. He genuinely seemed like a stand-up guy, kind of like
Undercover
the
boss.
single dad at his kid's baseball game
Or
that
that's
gives
not
the
how it
whole team
works.
a high five. He chatted with me for a bit, which I didn't mind since the bar was pretty quiet at that point. Eventually, he asked me if I ever thought about doing something bigger, which I admit was somewhat bizarre. Again though, not a totally creepy question given the nature of the situation. I gave him my standard bartender smile and told him I was happy for now. He nodded and sipped his drink, seemingly disappointed at my answer for reasons I didn't understand.
Yeah, see, that's when you stop talking to him. Don't give him any honest answers after that. Guy walks in with a turtleneck and trench coat, starts asking you questions about your job, and asks if you want to do something bigger. Don't you want to do something more with your life? Fuck no!
After a long pause,
Not with you.
he asked me what time I got off out of nowhere.
Oh,
That
fuck.
question surprised me. I
Lie,
hadn't picked up
lie,
any kind of flirting
lie,
from him
lie,
whatsoever.
lie,
So
lie.
I was a little disappointed to discover that our conversation had just been another one of those empty attempts at getting my number. I smiled and gave him a vague answer, trying to brush him off in a friendly way without seeming uptight. Before he could answer, I busied myself and began wiping
Just
down
ask
the
why he
counter,
wants to know.
But he didn't press. He just smiled like he already knew, then drained his drink and pulled out a crisp $100 bill, laying it gently on the bar like it was
You have to
nothing.
give him a fake answer.
Then, without another word,
'Cause
he
he's
walked
gonna
out
wait
into
for
the
you.
night.
Regardless,
I
he's
didn't
gonna
really
see
know
if you
what
don't
to make
answer.
of the encounter. I know it sounds like nothing, but his demeanor was just so far off my radar that I was intrigued. Either way,
Intrigued?
I figured I was never going to see him again, and got on with my life.
That's the exact opposite of what you should have figured. I really don't know what to tell you, buddy.
As it would turn out, though, I was wrong. About a week later, he came back. Only this time,
Oh, no.
he wasn't alone. There was a woman with him. She drew my attention since I hadn't seen her before. She looked like she was
Really?
in her mid-30s, and was dressed in a way that didn't quite match her age. Trendy, but off, like someone trying a little too hard to blend in with a younger crowd. I watched her closely as the two of them approached the bar. Everything about her seemed calculated, from the way she smiled too easily to the way she leaned against the bar like we were already friends. As I was setting down napkins in front of them, the very first thing she said to me wasn't a hello or a drink order, but a compliment. She put on this overly joyful smile and said, "You're so pretty." Her fingers brushed against my arm as she said it, lingering just a second longer than normal. I laughed and thanked her, but I could instantly
Wait, this is from the perspective of a woman. Wait, what? Okay, I sorry. Okay, is it a woman or a guy? I'm so lost. I'm so dumb. I'm sorry.
tell that something was off about this woman. The man didn't speak, which I thought was also a little strange given that he had been so talkative last time.
Yeah,
They
that's
ordered drinks
creepy
and
as
poured
fuck.
them, and that's when questions came flooding in. The woman asked me how long I'd been working here, along with how old I was, and a bunch of other small talk
They're
questions like
scouting
that.
her. Yuck.
I answered in short, polite sentences, but I got the sense that this wasn't small talk. She was studying me. At one point, she looked over at the man, and it seemed like they were communicating despite not speaking.
Get the fuck
She
out.
looked back at me and told me that she ran an exclusive event club. She leaned in a bit as she said it, lowering her voice as if to prevent her being overheard by another patron. She told me that she's always looking for young, fun people for private parties, and that
Ew.
I'd make a killing, 10 grand for a weekend. I let out a small, forced laugh and told her it sounded too good to be true. She insisted that it was real and told me that a bunch of girls like me worked for them. Her smile never faltered
that
at any
confirms it.
moment, which was starting to creep me out. She steered the conversation back to the job, circling around the same words. Fun, safe, exclusive. Then, casually, she said, "You should step outside for a second. There's someone who can explain it better." My pulse kicked up. I wasn't playing around at that point. I didn't even bother pretending like I wasn't creeped out. "I'm good," I said in a firm voice. No smile on my face this time. Just then, a group of customers walked in, laughing and talking loudly. The woman's expression changed in an instant, her friendly mask slipping just slightly before she turned to the man beside her. Without another word, they left.
That's
I'd be
so
lying if I said
hell
I
no.
wasn't unsettled after that.
This is one of the things I really like about Mr. Nightmare. I've always liked this about his videos, and I always noticed this. He never shows any pictures of, like, people. He doesn't try to make it creepy by showing, like, a picture that resembles, you know, what he might be talking about. And, you know, nowadays, he very easily could with AI, and I really hope he doesn't, because that makes these videos a lot easier to watch. I don't know what it is. It's like when they show stuff in videos like this, where it's like, it lines up with the creepy person's behavior, or like, oh, there was something unnerving about her smile, and then it does that like crossfade transition to like a creepy looking woman. Like, I can't do that. I can't do that. So the fact that it's just pictures of the environment, that it's still immersive, like, I've always loved that. As for where this story's going, bro, you need a coworker there, man. Particularly like a 6'5" guy, because there are multiple, actually probably multiple male coworkers. Honestly, get at least some security in there or something, because there are multiple people involved with this. There's some network shit going on, and I
Those
do not
random
like it.
people had just propositioned me for God knows what.
Some Epstein shit.
I told my coworkers
that.
and my boss about the situation, and we all agreed to keep an eye out should those people return.
No,
My
don't keep
boss
an eye
assured
out.
me that he was always a
You need to be
15-minute
safe.
drive away should I need him, and the bar's security cameras were typically enough to deter any misbehavior. There
Okay.
wasn't really much I could do beyond that. It's not like those people had done anything illegal.
Could carry. Just saying.
I tried to push it out of my head, but a few nights later, after closing, I saw the car.
Yeah,
was
nah.
parked across
Bro,
the street.
okay. I'm sorry I'm pausing so much. I've been in this situation where there's just like a car, like camped out outside, like an hour or something after a shift, and they're still there. I've had this happen at one of my jobs before, and it's real weird because, yeah, you can't really do anything about it, but when you see the same car every night, oh fuck, that's weird. I don't know if it
Engine
had
off,
anything to
just
do with
sitting
me.
there. I tried to tell myself it was nothing, but the feeling of being watched crawled over my skin like
Yeah, dude.
static. As I
Fuck
walked to my car,
that,
I
bruh.
kept my head down, my keys clutched tight in my hand.
Don't keep your head
I
down.
pulled out of the lot. I checked my mirrors. The car followed.
Yeah, fuck
It
that.
stayed back just enough to avoid
Drive
suspicion.
to your boss's
At
house.
every turn I made, it was still there.
Or
I
the
took a
police
random turn onto a
sheriff's
side
station,
street,
something.
and it followed. Another, still there. I started freaking out internally. I knew it was them. I forced myself to stay calm, to think. Then, without hesitating, I navigated and pulled into the parking lot of a police station,
There you
gripping
go.
the wheel so tightly my knuckles practically turned white. The second I pulled in, the car sped off.
That's right.
Nothing happened after that for a while, but I knew it wasn't over. It turned out I was right. It was a slow weekday shift, barely anyone coming in. By midnight, I was wiping down the counter, half thinking about closing early, when the door creaked open. It was the woman. I immediately sent my boss a text as inconspicuously as I possibly could. I looked back up, and the woman was staring at me with that same artificial smile.
Ew.
She walked slowly to the bar and sat down with her hands folded neatly. I was debating just telling her to leave when she said, "Thought I'd come check on you." My stomach started twisting, but I did my best to hide it. I told her we were about to close and that she had to leave, but she made this pouty face and asked for just one old-fashioned.
Ew,
I
bitch.
thought about denying her, but I figured pouring the drink would stall her long enough for my boss to arrive. So I turned around and got started, trying to keep my cool. And then I heard it. The soft, unmistakable click of the front door shutting. I whipped around. The woman was gone. I felt this awful pit in my stomach as I stepped toward the entrance. Through the glass, I saw it. A black van idling just outside.
Hell
Without
no.
thinking, I locked the door as quickly as I could. But then, metal rattling from the back door. Someone was trying to get in.
Hell no.
I didn't think. I grabbed the heaviest thing I could, a metal shaker, and clutched it like a weapon as I dialed
you need to
911
carry.
with my other hand.
I know, politically and whatever the hell, a lot of people are against that. Bro, for your safety, just to scare them.
There's no way the police would get there in time, so I thought about making a run for it out the front door, but I didn't for whatever reason. I was bracing myself for a fight when I saw headlights pulling into the lot. It was my boss.
There you go.
The sounds on the back door suddenly stopped, and a few seconds later, the van pulled out of the lot with a screech.
Bro.
I embraced my boss and told him what had happened, and he said he had gotten the license plate of the van as it was leaving.
Nice.
When the cops arrived, my boss reviewed the security footage with them. It was worse than I had imagined.
How?
Just before the
What?
woman left, the cameras had captured two masked figures crouching near the front door, waiting. There was another person in the back who was banging on the door with his fist, clearly trying to flush me out to the front. It was downright horrifying.
Which is like
To make matters worse, the plate number my boss had caught turned out to be unregistered.
Damn.
It's been quite a while since this incident, but no progress has been made. The only good news to come out of the whole thing is that my boss doesn't make me work alone anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That should have
Despite
happened
that,
already the
I'm
moment you saw
still
something
extremely
weird.
uneasy anytime I'm scheduled for a night shift. I still question how they knew I'd be working alone. It doesn't make any sense. Even now,
they
I often
scouted
think
you.
about what would have happened had I given in to fear and run out the front door.
Yeah, the really frustrating things about stories like this is you never know what they were up to. I'm really curious what the opportunity was. Also, how stupid do these people have to be? You're gonna try to flush her out to the front door? You should have had them squatting by the back door, waited for her to lock it, and then just start fake banging on the front door to try and, because when you think about it, why wouldn't, right? If you wanted to get to her, why wouldn't you just go through the open front door, right? I don't know. Very good story. I'm already ready for the next two just because of how, I know he doesn't write them. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like I said, but, they're always well written, and if he's changing anything about them to make it better for the video, it's working. Because I'm already intrigued. Let's see the next one. By Jeremy. Wait, who was the last one by? I'll check at the end.
I used to work the night
Remind
shift
me.
at a gas station / convenience store off a quiet stretch of highway.
Alright,
I
here we
say
go.
used to because
Gas
after
station.
what happened to me a few months ago, I won't work a night shift again. It's a small station, the kind that barely gets any business once it gets late. Most of my shift was spent restocking shelves, wiping down counters, and occasionally ringing up a trucker or traveler passing through. I remember the whole thing vividly. It was just past 2:30 in the morning. By then, even the truckers had mostly dried up, and I was left with basically nothing to do. I scrolled mindlessly on my phone, trying to kill some time. At one point, I stepped outside for some air, rubbing my hands together against the cold. I exhaled a few times, watching my breath disappear in the cold. The parking lot was empty, just the pumps, the road, and the dark stretch of trees beyond. The neon sign flickered faintly, and I remember it being hazy out, like you could literally see the moisture in the air. Even with the highway not too far off, it was pretty silent out there.
That's
Right
such
as
a
I was
vibe,
about
though.
to walk back towards the store, I noticed something
Honestly.
move out of the corner of my eye.
Hell no.
I whipped my head around and realized there was a person standing behind one of the pumps.
Bro,
How did I
okay,
not notice-
dude, this is one of my biggest problems and why I say I don't like horror stuff is because when I watch these, that's what I'll be doing all the time. Like, I swear to God, I thought I saw something at the corner of my eye. I thought, and I'm scared I'm gonna turn my head and I'm just gonna look at something for a second, and then my eyes will adjust and then I'll realize it's a person's face. Just hiding in plain sight or something like that. That shit kills me, dude.
noticed him earlier.
It's hitting home
He
right
was
now.
wearing a
Ugh.
dark red hoodie with a hood up, and he had both hands shoved in his pockets.
Fuck
There
no.
wasn't a car in sight, so he obviously wasn't fueling up. The only
Fuck
thing
no.
was, he didn't seem to be heading towards the store either. He was just standing there, half turned toward the store like he was watching me. At first, I figured maybe he was waiting for someone, but something about the way he moved rubbed me the wrong way. He was kind of shuffling about in this circular pattern. I entered the
police
store,
immediately.
but made sure to keep an eye on him through the glass. I kept track of him while pretending not to, hoping someone would drive up and pick him up or something. But after a few minutes, he started walking toward the door. Slow at first, then suddenly pushing inside like he'd made up his mind all at once.
Some of these sound effects
He walked up to the
startle
counter,
me.
but didn't say anything right away. Just stared at me like he was sizing me up.
Gross.
Then,
See,
in a
again,
rushed,
no person.
almost rehearsed way, he muttered that his car had broken down just before the pumps. He said he needed a jump, or maybe just a little gas to get to the next town.
No, I'm good,
I
bruh.
was literally shocked. He wasn't even trying to make his story believable. Like, I couldn't believe he actually expected me to buy his BS story. I offered
buying
to call a
time?
tow truck instead. No, he said, too quick, shaking his head. He just needed a flashlight, maybe some help checking under the hood.
No.
Something was definitely off, that much was true. The way he spoke, the way he watched my reaction, it felt like a test. To be fair though, people walking into gas stations at that hour are usually a little strange.
Bruh, if it's a test, you are failing the test, dude. Whenever you see someone weird like this, you gotta call them out, like, directly, dude. Like, I just saw you out there. There's no fucking car, right? Then their whole script is derailed.
And I started wondering
Make 'em
whether
defend
he actually
themselves,
needed
then they
help
get
and was
flustered or
just
they
an odd
leave.
person or on something. I
Should've
asked him
called
where
the
his car was
non-emergency
parked.
number
He
immediately.
told me it was just beyond the highway entrance. I was obviously skeptical, but then he pointed at the monitor behind me. I turned to look at the screen.
Dumbass.
To my surprise, there actually was a car parked out there. I
Huh?
thought to myself, oh crap.
Was he waiting for the
maybe
car
this
to get
guy
there?
really does need help. And that's when it hit me. I had literally just been outside, and I would have remembered a car parked out there.
Yeah.
I glanced back at the monitor.
He was waiting
and
so
saw
he
the
could...
slightest movement near the car's back bumper. Someone was crouching just out of view. A
Ew.
cold wave of dread hit me.
That sound
I
effect.
forced a casual smile and agreed to
Fuck
help the guy,
that, dude.
but not before telling him I needed to grab my phone from the back office.
There you go.
I turned slowly.
I mean, you're
not
kind of
wanting
giving
to
it away
spook
there,
him.
but...
But the second I was out of its direct sight, I slammed my hand onto the emergency panic button under the counter.
There you go.
The alarm went off instantly, screeching through the store. I expected him to attack me, but what he did instead was even more unsettling.
What?
His nervous energy disappeared. No more fake urgency, no more shifting from foot to foot. He actually relaxed. His whole body language shifted, and then he smiled. Not a panic smile, not an embarrassed one either. A slow, knowing grin, like he had all the time in the world, like this was amusing to him. I was in shock.
I
I
mean,
didn't
yeah,
even have time to
kinda.
get physical with him.
Because you didn't call the police immediately, dude. You set off that panic thing. I mean, yeah, someone will come eventually, dude. But if he's right there, there's someone outside, bro. If they want to do something to you,
In one fluid motion, he turned and bolted. I ran to the monitors just in time to see both of them take off. Not toward the car,
fuck no.
but into the woods behind the station. The car just sat there, engine off, headlights off. No one inside. By the time the police arrived, it was exactly as I saw it. The car was still there, but the men were gone. No footprints leading away, no sign of them anywhere. And then one of the officers pointed something out. Something I hadn't noticed before. The front passenger door was open. There had been a third person inside the whole time.
Huh.
The police took my statement down, I turned over the surveillance footage, and that was that. A few days later, they followed up with me. They had the car towed and ran the plates. Turned out, it had been
Stolen?
reported stolen
Yeah,
nearly
okay.
a week earlier, over 100 miles away. No one had come forward to claim it, no reports of missing persons, no other crimes linked to it, just an abandoned vehicle in the middle of nowhere with no explanation. That was months ago, and still nothing. I don't know why convenience...
Yeah, they knew, like, if you call the police, we're just gonna run. There's no way for you to track us. That's what that smile was. We're gonna come back. we know you're on to us, but we're just gonna have fun with you now,
As such
basically.
popular targets.
I don't know why.
I can say for sure that I will never work another night shift again.
Oh, that's the end of the story. Okay. I'm not sure what the smile was about then. Okay, whatever. Screw it.
This happened a couple weeks ago. I worked the night shift at Walmart. It's not the worst job in the world, but after a while...
Dude, okay, Walmart. Yeah, you know what? The one near me has a lot of people working the night shift, it feels like, and I've kind of always wanted to do the overnight stalking thing. I don't know if it's easy, or if, like, it's mind-numbingly, like, painful or whatever. I just think, like, stalking is simple for the most part. I mean, you gotta use that equipment, which can, I'm sure, get annoying. But yeah, no one in the store... You know, like post-COVID, most of the time, and you're just sitting in there vibing with everyone else, even if it's not a lot of people. Like, that seems really chill to me. The only I did work at Walmart once, but it wasn't during the night shift. I was a cart pusher for like super part-time during the day, and let me tell you, that gets real stressful when you're the only one doing it, because you really just don't have time to go to the bathroom. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, ugh. You have like one little, bungee cord, and you're just putting that around carts and then wheeling them up, trying to like get through the cars that are constantly going through, trying to get around people and stuff like that. And that's fine. Like, if I had been doing that in the summer, that would have been awesome. And unfortunately, I started in the winter, so it was like negative 30 degrees outside, and they really expected me to do that shit. So yeah, nah, I'm good.
I feel like you're just floating through time. The nights blend together. Same shelves, same routine, same dull hum of the overhead lights.
Yeah, that
Hopefully something better comes along. I usually hang out in and
That's the
stock
worst
the
part of a night
electronics
shift.
section,
You're
which is
losing
nice
time.
because it's quieter than the other areas. People don't exactly come rushing in at 2 a.m. to buy phone chargers and Bluetooth speakers.
Yeah.
Most
true.
of the customers are either
Except me. Bruh. I'm the type to go into Target at like 8 p.m. to pick up a, like, camera kit. I think that's literally when I did my first photography camera kit. Canon, Rebel, whatever, starter.
either night
thing.
owls killing time or truckers grabbing last-minute supplies before heading back on the road. That's why I noticed him. At first, I didn't think much of it. Just another guy wandering the aisles, probably waiting for someone. But after a few minutes, I realized he wasn't shopping. He wasn't even
Hell no.
pretending to. He just kept appearing. Every time I glanced up, he was lingering nearby, hovering in the next aisle over, or standing a little too still by the clearance section. He wasn't looking at anything. He was just standing there, watching me. I told myself I was overthinking it.
Hell
The
no.
store is big, and maybe he was just taking his time. But the way
Again, call him out. Call him out, bruh. Can I help you with something? Make them use their voice. You know what I mean? Usually, the power that they have, the reason it's fucking unnerving is because they're just sitting there, like, quiet. You know what I mean? Force them to identify themselves via voice. Because a lot of them, it's gonna come out like, no, I'm good.
he moved, always just close enough for me to notice.
Make him a little bit nervous.
Never actually picking anything up. It set something deep in my gut on edge. I was waiting for him to just get on with it and ask for my number, but he never approached me. It was like he wanted me to see him, which didn't make any sense to me. I went to
Antisocial.
radio someone about it, but realized that the batteries in my radio must have been dead because it wasn't working.
It's that horror
Eventually,
movie
I
timing.
started debating whether I should go find a manager when I felt a hand wrap around my arm. I nearly jumped out of my skin,
Gross.
but before I could react, a woman's voice rang out loud, friendly, overly familiar. She exclaimed, "There you are," before going on a little spiel about how she had been looking all over for me.
Rehearsed.
Turned, completely
Or
thrown
not rehearsed. What am I saying? Intentional, right? Because she noticed him too. That has to be what it is.
off and saw a woman I had never seen before in my life. She was smiling. Her
Is she
grip
sticking
firm
up
on
for
my
her? Is she like trying to protect her, or is she in on it?
arm, like we were old friends
Sorry,
reuniting.
I'll stop interrupting.
Completely thrown off, and saw a woman I had never seen before in my life. She was smiling, her grip firm on my arm, like we were old friends reuniting. Before I could say anything, she leaned in and whispered, her tone dropping to something low and urgent.
Helping.
"That guy's been recording you. Follow me."
Oh my god.
My stomach dropped.
Fuck
I turned my head
that.
slightly, just enough to glance back. The man was still there, only now He wasn't even pretending to browse. He was staring right at me.
Charged directly at
A
him.
cold wave of fear crept over me.
Directly
I
at him.
let her pull me. I didn't even question it. The way she grabbed my arm, the way she spoke so loud and casually, like we were two old friends reuniting, I clung to it. I was beyond grateful that someone had realized what was going on and put herself in an uncomfortable position just to help me. She kept up the act as we walked,
really
rambling about
uncomfortable.
something,
She's
maybe a
got all the
trip she
power
had
in it.
taken, maybe an inside joke we supposedly shared. I barely processed the words. My thoughts were stuck on him. Had he really been recording me? That was creepy as hell. I wanted to know if he was still following us, but I couldn't muster the courage to turn around just yet.
Toilet
The woman
paper
steered me through the
aisle. Let's
aisles,
go.
moving fast. I barely noticed where we were going, only that we were going, that the distance between me and that man was growing. In all honesty, I was kind of expecting her to quit the pretending to know me at some point, but she kept it up. At one point, it was getting a little uncomfortable,
Yeah,
so I
okay,
glanced
she is
behind
in
me,
on it.
and to my relief, that man was no longer following. The woman kept pulling me forward, though. I told her that we were good now and that we should probably go find my manager, but she just squeezed my arm tighter, telling me that he was lurking somewhere. I thought to myself, so what? What's he gonna do in a store full of employees? I was obviously worried at first because no one was around, but now that I wasn't alone, I started realizing that there wasn't much of a point in being scared anymore. I told her this, but she continued moving. I told her I was serious and planted my feet, twisting my arm slightly to loosen her grip.
There you go.
"You can let go now," I said, but she didn't. She smiled
Start
at
screaming.
me, but
Let go.
something in it
Let
was
go.
off.
Let go.
"Come on, just a little further," she said, basically tugging me at that point.
No.
I glanced
Gross.
around. The store was basically dead. We had moved past the registers, past the self-checkout,
Why are you still
past
moving?
the aisles that saw the most foot traffic. The warehouse section loomed ahead, dimly lit and nearly empty. Beyond that was the side exit, the one without cameras, the one employees used for loading shipments. That's when it dawned on me. She was leading me straight to the exit. I didn't think. I screamed for help as I yanked my arm free of her grasp with all my might. She lost her grip just enough for me to pull free. I didn't waste another second. I turned and ran toward the front of the store. As I fled, she yelled out something behind me. She yelled for me to come back, followed by my name, which I hadn't given her. I kept running until I saw one of my coworkers who was running toward me, most likely reacting to my screaming.
Most
I
likely.
told him to call security, which he promptly did. That woman was long gone, though. By the time I told my story to the security guards, that woman and that man were nowhere in sight. They reviewed the security footage, and just as I suspected, the woman and man walked into the store together. She had been with him the entire time.
Yep.
The man's face was clear as day in one of the frames,
Good.
but hers was always turned away. I had a feeling she was the mastermind behind the whole thing, so I was infuriated
And
that
she
the
seemed
cameras hadn't
confident.
picked her face up. Every second of it had been planned. The police got involved, and the whole thing went down as a failed abduction attempt. I'm still waiting for a resolution about it. That man should definitely be easy to track down, given his face was caught on camera.
Yeah.
I have no idea how that woman knew my name. That's what
That
terrifies
is-
me the most.
Yeah.
Those people hadn't just picked me at random. I was a direct target.
That's fucking creepy, dude. Alright. That it? Or he has like an outro? Okay, never mind. I thought he used to. But yeah, man, this is like so fun. You know what I mean? To like branch out to different types of videos like this to react to. So if you enjoy this, please let me know down in the comments below. I mean, like, this is a video I can like sit here and regularly watch because, you know, like, because it's viewer submissions, right? I enjoy these stories and these videos because there's limitations. You know they're not going to get killed, right? Because they're still alive to tell the story. So you know it's just going to be like creepy and it's not going to go too far, but it could if they wanted to. It just kind of depends. You know what I mean? I really enjoy that, where it's just like, just creepy enough, but not enough to be like sad or tragic or like horrible to hear, you know? That's really up my alley, me personally. I did obviously get creeped out watching this. I was like literally fucking the whole time. I don't, this is a green screen behind me pushed up against a wall with a window on it, so I don't know what I think is going to be behind me, but like, damn, I'm just like checking my surroundings all the time. Like, gotta keep an eye out for Selena and stuff like that. But yeah, right. If you don't like to watch horror content by yourself and you can only watch it with like a reactor or someone like that, it makes you feel like more safe. That's what I do, at least. I love Flight Reacts, watching like the spooky videos, the fucking, like during October, I like what he does, his crime reactions, like crime video reactions. I love that stuff. So if that's up your alley, you like watching that stuff, let me know. Like, do more of this because I would love to. And I love Mr. Nightmare. I love this channel. There's a couple other channels that I reached out to. One specifically that has already responded to me and said like, yeah, go for it, do the reactions. So I'll be reacting to his channel as well, Poi, P-O-I. Look him up if you're into that, because he was very, very kind to immediately get back to me about that. But yeah, man, this is a great video. I'll link to it in the comments down below, so you can go straight to his channel if you want more videos like this. And if you see any like horror content that you want me to react to, it's not too long, you know what I mean, drop a suggestion down in the comments. Subscribe for more like this. And yeah, that is the video. Thank you for watching.